Good morning. My name is Miss Marcia, and I'm going to be your MBC instructor. The student that you see with me today is Kelly Cassidy. She's one of our senior students. And I have students come on sometimes when we do onboarding just so they can fill any gaps in or they can give you any advice. Well, first of all, I just want to say welcome to you, and I'm glad that you've come to join our MBC team. That's what I consider this, a team. Expect to learn a lot, work hard, and be very supported because we support each other in this class. The first thing that I want to talk about is attendance. Attendance is a little different for online. I check attendance every single day and I mark you present or absent. Now, for example, during the hurricane, we did do some excused absences, but that was for students who had no electricity. But in general, the only way you get an excused absence is if you turn in a doctor's excuse or doctor's note. What does attendance mean to you? Well, you need to turn something in every day in order to receive attendance. So what I have done is on top of larger assignments, I have a question of the day every day that you're required to answer. So for example, tomorrow when you start class, you'll have a question of the day. It'll be question of the day for day 13. I'm sorry, I had to look at my book and find out what day we were on. So you'll start out with question of the day 13. And usually it says 13 of 20, right, Kelly?
Yes.
Because we have 20 days in this module, I always include, day 10 of 20, day 11 of 20, day 12 of 20, just to make sure that you know what day that we're actually on in the module. So tomorrow you will be required to answer day 13 of 20, question of the day. If you do not know the answers, please Google it, research it. A lot of times you can get into your ebooks and find that. And we'll be talking about your ebooks in just a minute. So I'm going to continue on with attendance again. You are not required to turn in every assignment that you have daily. I would suggest that you always work on the day that we're on. For example, tomorrow you're starting on day 13. So I would suggest that you do everything that's day 13. Now, if you're working that day and you can only turn in your question of the day, I will accept that. You'll still get attendance, but you're expected to get caught up. What happens with this curriculum, if you wait too many days to do your work, you feel behind. So I would suggest, if at all possible, do your work every single day. If you're unable to do an assignment, then before you continue on to the next day, finish your day. So finish all of day 13, all of day 14, all of day 15. Don't go day 13, day 14, day 16, day 15. Try to do it in order. That way the assignments make sense. Did that make sense, Kelly?
Yes, very much so.
At Unitech, we have something called a 14-day rule. What does that mean? That means if you do not submit assignments in 14 days straight, and that counts the weekends and holidays, you will be dropped from the program. You will what we call 14-day out. Now, how will you know? I'm going to let you know way in advance. Matter of fact, you'll get 2 or 3 days in and not turn something in. I'm going to be expecting an answer about why. I'm going to be saying, hey, what's the matter? Do you need help? What's going on? The biggest thing for me is communication. I am a constant communicator. You're going to hear from me. You're going to receive private texts from me. You'll see it here. You'll get emails from me. Also, we have a Remind group. I will be sending you a Remind app, or a Remind invitation, so you can get the Remind app. And what this means is if I have a large chat text to send out, I don't have to send it out individually. I can send it over Remind, and then everybody gets it. Now, the one thing I want to point out, if you are not familiar with Remind, if you text me back on the Remind app, our texts are private between you and I. So for example, if I send out a Remind notification and Kelly texts me a question and I text her back, you guys will not be able to see that. It's still private. It just allows me to send out the text one time. So please download the Remind app on your phone so that you can begin receiving class text. A lot of times I try to remind you that we're having a Zoom class that day, or I will let you know when I've uploaded the week at a glance, or different things like that. They're little things. Sometimes I send funny stuff out, and sometimes I may just do a head count and say, hey, everybody check in. How's everybody doing? Kelly, anything you can think about to add to any of that?
No, you covered it all.
Right. Just to recap, expectation is that you will do an assignment every single day so that you can get that attendance and that you can stay on point with your assignments. All right. So the next thing that we're going to look at is we're going to look at your ebooks. You should have received an email from Miss Jana Peterson with instructions on how to upload your ebooks. So I'm actually going to share my screen. Your ebooks come from Elsevier Evolve. It's called different things at different times, but I just say Elsevier and Evolve just to cover all the bases. So you're going to be making an account, and this is what Evolve looks like. Once you follow your instructions on that email, yours isn't going to look just like this because this is mine. Something's going to pop up that says, go to Vital Source Library. This is where your ebooks are found on your Vital Source Library. So you click your Vital Source Library, and these are where your books are going to be found. We are in this book, The Electronic Health Record for the Physician's Office. You always push open or continue reading. And this is kind of what it looks like in the middle. You guys are going to be on chapter 5. And so you just click chapter 5. So you're going to be starting in clinical use of the electronic health record. And this is where you would read your material. But I want to point out that if you push the little read aloud button at the bottom, you have a printer, you have a capital A and a little a, and then you have a read aloud option and you push play.
5. Clinical use of the electronic health record.
Your ebook actually reads to you. So again, this is chapter 5 where you're starting. This is all of your information. Today, I know it's not your start date, but this evening, I really need for you guys to get in and read chapter 5 so that you can kind of be aware of what we're doing. Okay, so that's our ebooks. And I showed you which ebook we're in. Don't worry about anything else right now, but getting in and looking at your ebook and kind of poking around. It does take a little bit of exploring and just trial and error. Kelly, do you have any advice about ebooks?
No.
Pretty cut and dry, right?
It is.
Pretty cut and dry.
Always read the key terms and note those, though.
Right, yes. In this particular module that we're in, key terms are important. I know that you're coming in at chapter 5 and we are only going to chapter 7. Don't worry, any information that you missed will wrap back around and you'll get it at the end. So the next thing that we're going to get into is called our e-learning, or Genzabar. This is where you did your orientation. So you should be just fine to get in. Tomorrow, you'll be on module 156. So that is the book that I showed you. So tomorrow when you get into your e-learning, you'll be able to click module 156 and you're going to be able to see your work. So I'm going to actually go straight into Genzabar now, or e-learning, whichever you want to call it. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So once you log in, again, you guys realize that this is on the teacher side. So it looks a little bit different. But all my courses, you're going to be 15602. It'll be the only thing showing for you. So once you click into that, this is what it looks like. Now, I want you guys to pay very, very close attention to latest news. Why is latest news important? Well, it's because I give you something called a week at a glance every single week. And the week at a glance just is like a little, almost like a lesson plan that you can use to keep up with your work. Okay. So your week at a glance is here, and you just click on it. Click on it again. I don't know what's going on. Hang on a minute. Try that again. Well, give me a second, guys. It's just not working for me. Okay, so I'm actually going to pull up my week at a glance from a different spot. You guys can pull it up from there. I think my Microsoft may have run out. I may have to repurchase my Microsoft again.
I got to do mine too.
So I'll go into Google Docs and I'll show it to you. Okay, here we go. So once you click that, you're going to see something called your weekly assignments. We call it Week at a Glance. And this is your Week at a Glance. So today, class has Chapter 5 lecture, and they need to read Chapter 5. And I gave them a vocabulary worksheet. And for lab, they're creating a specific diagram. So you see day 12 of 20 is Monday. Day 13 of 20 is Tuesday. So it's all lined out what you're expected to do in that particular day. Some of my students write down their assignments and mark it off as they do them. Some students print this Week at a Glance off and they do it as they go through the week. Every week, you're going to have something called a discussion question. I even put this here. This is your discussion question for this week. And then we have a question of the day, and they're loaded below. I even give you the questions of the day ahead of time, but please do not turn them in until that day. For example, tomorrow, day 13, when you do this question of the day, all you have to do is give A, B, C, or D as your answer and submit it on day 13. Then 14, do this one, day 15. So I give it to you early so you can answer it ahead of time in case you're working and you're busy. So this is actually your Week at a Glance, a very important tool for you. So when we go into coursework, the reason your Week at a Glance is important is because your assignments are all listed and they don't go away. So it helps you keep track of where you are. And you can see how I actually label assignments. So QOD is question of the day. Then you have daily assignments, exams, and labs. You don't have exams every day, but every day you're going to have a question of the day, a daily assignment, and a lab assignment. I need to show you this also, SIM chart for the medical office. What we're doing in this module right now is we're actually doing SIM chart exercises. So tomorrow you have like EHR exercise 5.1 through 5.4. Where are you going to access that? SIM chart for the medical office. You click that. Then you're going to launch your SIM chart. Make sure your pop-up blocker is off. If your pop-up blocker isn't off, it is not going to work. So pop-up blocker has to be off. So this is your SIM chart for the medical office. Again, mine looks a little different, but this is what you need to know. Simulation playground. These EHR exercises you do in your simulation playground. It is a playground. I do not get in and check these exercises. There's no way for me to do it. But I have asked for you to turn in or upload specific things. So that is what I'm basing your grade on. This is a playground. It is used for you to play in. You can't mess it up. So please spend some time getting to know that.
It's so much fun. It really is.
It is a lot of fun. I don't want you guys to stress over it. If you have questions about it, please reach out. If I can't help you, another student will be happy to talk it out with you. Again, it's a lot of fun. I'm excited for you guys to get in and be able to do that. So that is your Genza bar. Now, I know that that's a lot of information in a short period of time, but you can always call me. We can talk and we can take care of it. I do need for you two to make sure that tomorrow you turn in one assignment. It can be a question of the day. I cannot activate you formally in my class until you complete an ARA, an academic related activity. I'm having a hard time talking today. It's a typical Monday. Let me talk a little bit about expectations. I'm pretty easy to get along with. I will help you in any way possible, but my expectation is that you meet me in the middle. I cannot do the work for you. I can assist you, I can support you, I can have another student support you, but it's expected that you give me 100% so I can give you 150%. I need you to do your assignments. I need you to watch your Zooms. That's something I didn't tell you. We have Zooms every Tuesday and Thursday. Every Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning, we have a Zoom. Every Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning, we have a Zoom. And we have a 7 o'clock Zoom on Thursday evenings now. I've added a Zoom for students who are unable to make it during the day. Zooms are not required, but you are required to watch them at a later time. So many times I do these Zooms, I record them, I upload them so you can see what we did in class that day, or be a part of things, or have any important information. And I get text messages with questions that I've answered in the Zoom. So I know the Zooms aren't being watched. So please take the time and watch the Zooms. A lot of times I do, the words just flew out of my head. We do, we go over the test reviews. That's the word. We do test reviews. And if you don't watch it and you don't review your tests and you make a bad grade, then it's kind of on you, right? Because I'll tell you, I reviewed the test. Please watch the Zooms. That comes out on the remind that tells you that, you know, the Zoom is uploaded on daily assignment, blah, 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 blah. Go back and watch it. So if you're not able to be in Zooms, just like you weren't able to be on your onboarding Zoom, I test them, I record them, and then I upload them. They're very important. My expectation is that you would watch those. And if you don't come at me with questions that are actually in the Zooms, because I'm probably going to say, watch your Zoom and you'll know. So Zooms are not usually more than 45 minutes if they're that long. I mean, they're really short right now because we're not doing any medical coding. We're just doing little things for our EHR exercises. Expectations are also that when you're on Zooms or you come into Zooms, that is class time, and I expect you there ready for class, not laying in your bed, not driving in your car. And you also need to let anybody that's around you know that you're in Zoom class. There won't be any profanity. This is a professional class. And I only say it because I've had a lot of it happen. And so I would like to just cut it off at the pass and let you know it's class time, and I expect for you to behave as such. It's an interactive class. If you do not want to participate, then don't come to class. You can watch it later. The idea of being in Zoom class is so that we can converse, and it can be a back and forth situation, and we can actually talk about things. So expectation, the biggest one is communicate with me. I'm here to help you. There's nothing I won't do to help you if you're trying. If you do your daily assignments and you just pay attention and you watch your Zooms, you're going to be successful. That's really all it takes, is to put in the work. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please read chapter 5 tonight. So tomorrow when class starts, you're going to be prepared and ready to go. If there's anything that I can do for you, let me know. We are having a Zoom at 11 o'clock. So if you're having problems or you have questions, it's a perfect time to come in and let class kind of guide you through it, and we can talk about it, and I can guide you somewhat. If you can't, then reach out to me personally and we'll see what we can do. Have a great day. See you in class tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.